Alright, 4-color clasped weft. Let's do this. Let's talk about what you need first. And by the way, if you haven't watched the last video on doing 3 colors, watch that first. And if you haven't watched the first video, then watch that first. Now, we need 2 shuttles this time with 2 separate contrasting colors. We need 1 ball of yarn for this side, another ball for this side, and these are all different colors. They're different colors to the warp, so I've actually got 5 colors here. Okay, I'm just going to put my shuttles aside for a sec, and I'm going to go into the up shed, and I'm going to start with the 2 colors from the sides. So I'm going to drop the ball to the floor and bring the yarn in a few warp threads and tuck that in, leaving a little tail. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So we start off just the way we did in the last video, leaving a tail. Okay, same shed. I'm going to grab our 2 shuttle yarns and decide which colors you want to meet up. So I've got a dark color and I've got an orange. I think I'll have the orange meet up with the green, which is on the left. Okay, so that's going to be my left hand side shuttle, and I'm going to have my dark color meet up with my pink, which is going to be my right hand shuttle. Doesn't matter which one you bring in first. We find the middle of the warp, or roughly the middle, and bring that shuttle up, leaving a good tail behind it. Actually, I'm going to change that position because it's not far enough to the middle for my liking. Doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm leaving that one with a tail, and that's now my right shuttle. Then I'm taking my other shuttle and I'm coming out at exactly the same point as the dark blue there. And I'm going to leave a good tail of that behind as well, and that's now my left hand shuttle. Okay, we're going to change sheds. So into the down shed. And I'm going to start with my left hand shuttle, and I'm going to go into the shed where this yarn is coming out, where the orange yarn is coming out, going into the shed and off to the side and underneath the green. So quite similar to using 3 colors, but you'll see the difference in a moment. Okay, so I've got that one over that side, and I'm going to bring it back into the middle instead of going straight through. And then I'm going to pull that colour, the green at the edge, through as much as I want. And don't pull your tail through from the back. You might just need to grab onto that while you do the first pick. After you've done the first pick, it'll be stable. Now take that orange one and just set it over to the side. If it gets in your way or you find it a little bit confusing, pop it over at the back for now. Now the blue yarn, we're going to go into the shed as well, exactly where the blue yarn's coming up, going out the edge at the right and underneath that pink. And once again, don't lose the tail of the blue at the back. And then back into the shed and out where I came in at the same point. And I'm going to pull that pink in just as far as I want to. Okay, so now I've got both shuttles, but the 2 shuttles in the middle have not crossed each other. I'm going to beat, and then I'm going into the up shed, which is the change of shed for me. Now, before I do my next weft pick, I'm going to cross these guys over. Now, before I do my next weft pick, I'm going to cross the 2 wefts over so that they loop around each other in the middle. Now I can carry on going into the shed where I came out with my orange. You can check with the tail at the back. I'm going through, I'm going underneath the green I'm not going to pull this orange through too hard at the middle, because if I pull it too hard, it's going to start making these warp threads separate too much in the middle, and there'll be an obvious gap, and it doesn't look very nice. So now I'm going to come back into the shed, and I'm coming back through where I went in. And then at this point, I decide how far I want my green to come in. So I'm going to bring it in a bit further this time, and then just pop that orange out of the way for a moment. Now the blue goes into the shed where it came out. Goes through underneath the pink. Once again, don't pull that too hard. And then it comes back in and up where it left off. And I can decide how far I want to pull my pink in. Okay, so once again, the two wefts in the middle are separate. Beat, and then into the downshed. Okay, so before we start our wefts, I'm just going to rewind this a little bit because it's getting a little bit long, and if it gets a bit long, it'll get confusing. Just rewind that. Okay, so we're going to cross those wefts so that they cross over each other like so, and then I'm going to take the orange down into the shed underneath the green, not pulling too hard there, but pulling hard enough that I'm not leaving a big ridge or a bump. Coming back out, I'm just going to do a little bit of green there this time, picking up my blue and going into the shed on the other side, under the pink, back in and out at the entry point. A little bit of pink this time. Okay, now I can beat, and then into the up shed. Before I begin, I'll cross my weft picks over. Now you see why I'm crossing the weft picks over? It's so that they interlock in the middle here. This is kind of like a tapestry technique of interlocking. So when I was figuring out how to do the colours, initially I didn't interlock them because I didn't want to create a ridge going up the middle. However, I found that by not interlocking them, well, they didn't hold on to each other. They didn't hold on to the threads enough, and I started to get a bit of a split there, and it looked really awful as well. So I started interlocking them. First I tried interlocking them on every pick, but then after that I decided to interlock them on every change of shed, and that was the key. That worked much better because then you get a smoothness here. They do interlock, but in a smooth way, and you don't get a big gap, and you don't get a great big bumpy ridge going up the middle of the work that looks unattractive. Into the down shed. So that's all you really need to remember. At every change of shed, make sure the weft picks cross over each other, and then you'll get that interlocking. And that's one of the only other differences from the last video, as well as with the last video you would take each pick right through the shed, but here you do halfways. Okay, now for your close-up. So I'm in the up shed. I've just changed sheds, so I need to cross these two weft threads over. You can see at the moment that they're quite apart, and so we need to cross them over. Okay, now they're crossed and they're going to interlock. So I can take the orange into that shed underneath the green. Bring it back in and out where it came. Set that one down and take the dark blue in. It's already interlocked with the orange there, so I don't need to worry about it. And underneath the pink. Back into the shed. And beat. Change of shed into the down shed, which means I need to cross these two over again before the orange goes back into the shed under the green, back through, and then the blue into the shed under the pink, and back in to the shed through the entry point. And as I mentioned before, you just want to be tensioning those threads against each other a little bit. That gives you neat edges and just ensures that you're not going to get any weird lumps or bumps anywhere. Beat, and then we're back in the up shed again. So I hope your brain is teeming with ideas about what you're going to do with this. There are lots of different things that you can make. The first clasped weft project I did here was a table runner, if you remember. And that was lovely. It would also be great for a scarf. I see a lot of clasped weft bags that look really nice, and purses and cushion covers and all kinds of things, clothing. Lots you can do with this, and it's fun. And you get to have the control over the colours and the amount of each colour, and it's really cool. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to keep going with this piece for a little bit and I can show you my results at the end. But I hope you enjoyed this little clasped weft series, and until next time, happy weaving.
Have you visited my online weaving school? Not only do you get access to nearly 40 classes, you also get access to a special members group on Facebook where we have giveaways, focused discussions and heaps of support, as well as an awesome community. Come over and check it out.